Hello, my name is Nicholas, and I will be summarizing the beginning and some of the tactics in the American Civil War. The American Civil War of 1861 to 1864 was the bloodiest conflict the U.S. has ever been involved in. The number of total casualties was, I think, around 690 to 750,000, and the war started after many occasions that elevated tension till ultimately Confederate troops attacked Fort Sumter on April 12, 1861. The start of the Civil War was caused by many different policies and revolts that combined together when Fort Sumter was attacked. Leading to the start of the war, the biggest reason on why the war was started was the election of 1860, in which Republican Abraham Lincoln was elected. In light of Lincoln's election, South Carolina decided to vote whether they should secede from the South or not. South Carolina unanimously decided to secede, and many other states followed. The other states that seceded shortly after South Carolina was Mississippi, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, and Texas. The reason why those states seceded was because the election was that the Republicans had a policy that prevented new states from practicing slavery. So once those states left, tension kept building, and then Fort Sumter was attacked, I think, April of 1861, and that created the start of the Civil War, which lasted, like, 4 years? I'm not sure. So moving on to great tactical feats and battles, one great plan was Wilfred Scott's plan to crush the Confederacy economically during the Civil War. This was known as the Anaconda Plan, and it was basically an overall blockade which started in 1862 of southern ports and not only targeted the major points of entry for slave trade, but also crippled cotton exports. This plan failed because nobody really wanted. I think they did do it. I'm pretty sure they did it. They tried it. It just didn't work, so they moved on to the last step. But it did weaken the Confederacy a lot, and it caused shortages in almost everything, and that might have been one of the reasons why they lost. And the biggest battle in the war was the Battle of Gettysburg, which happened on July 1st, I think, and the advancing Confederates clashed with the Union Army of the Potomac, commanded by General George G. Meade, and he was one of the main generals of the Anyway, at the crossroads town of Gettysburg, the next day saw even heavier fighting as the Confederates attacked the Federals on both left and right, both sides. And on July 3rd, this was the main attack. This is the most important part of the attack. And on July 3rd, Lee ordered an attack by fewer than 15,000 troops on the enemy center at Cemetery Ridge, which was known, and this assault was known as Pickett's Charge. Yeah, Pickett's Charge. And it managed to pierce the Union lines, but eventually failed at the cost of thousands of rebel casualties. So it wasn't really a win for the Confederates, because then after Lee was forced to withdraw his battered army towards Virginia on July 4th, and the battle was won. And I think this was known as the biggest. This is the battle with the most casualties in American history. After 3 days, there was about 70,000, 60,000 casualties. It couldn't have been that much. I think it was. And this war was one of the biggest that the United States has ever fought, and will most likely remain as the bloodiest war in American history. I have learned many things from studying this war, and I'm thankful for it. So thank you for watching my presentation.